Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video in this series. So in today's video, it is pretty much going to be more of an update video because I'm still working my way through the motion matching node that you see right here. However, my update is in regards to the Apply Mesh Space Additive for the lean and the Space Additive for the stand. So it's funny because I've been stuck on this issue for like the good past week while dealing with some other stuff like family and stuff like that. So I have actually been pretty busy, so that's why it is taking me so long to get through the motion matching node. But in the time that I did have, especially like in between work, stuff like that, I figured out what was actually wrong with these because I'm also working on the side project that I have in regards to the motion matching in 60 seconds. Because what I plan on doing is y'all have shown me that you can pretty much make those two options, option 2 and 3 in the community post, go toe to toe, where people want to see your first 60 minutes of motion matching and then, making a third person video game or something like that, right? So I decided to take my time with it and actually merge those two together, where we are going to make a video game. I'm thinking more of a third-person shooter to help get you set up with the Lyra starter project animations, and then also teaching you the basics of the motion matching and other stuff, and how we can actually, make a more basic version of the game animation sample project. Because one of the things that I did want to show you guys is how simple it is to make a game, and I'm going to walk through like step by step on how to make the shooter. Of course, there's still stuff that I'm learning because one of the things that I do have to learn to show y'all, and one of is this right here, the overlay states layer. I am currently learning this because in the game animation sample project, I have it set to where, if we go ahead and play this, right, and I love how it spawns on my other screen, that you could see that we're in an unarmed state, but as soon as I press like another button, right, like I have a debug button set for 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I hit 2, I T-pose because it's supposed to be my melee, and I don't have melee animation set up yet for it. However, if I hit number 3, you can see that we do a pistol equip, but you'll also notice that I have the offset aim rotation, while holding the pistols. So as you can see, we're looking up, down, right, left, and turning when we go too far over. And then also if I hit number 4, that we go into a rifle animation, as you can see, or a rifle stance, from the Lyra starter project stuff. So I am trying to go through that because I want to try to teach y'all the basics of that. However, I don't have it down, to a complete science yet. Still stuff that I'm working on, just because they're, the places that I'm learning it from are also trying to be a little bit more intricate with it, and I'm trying to learn it to be able to dumb it down for everybody, because that's the whole point of my channel, is I want to give a newbie's point of view, so that way you can better understand this stuff, and hopefully I explain these things well enough. But getting a bit too off topic with that, let's go ahead and fix up these additive space meshes, right? And we're going to start with our lean first. So going back into it, so let's go ahead and hook up our main states into the base, and then our base into the local to component, because we're going to work on this first, and I'm going to show you, right? So as you can see right now, because we have the condition set for is moving, within our movement analysis, where we check for our velocity and our future velocity to make sure that they're not equal 0, that indicates that we're moving. So with doing that, when we start moving, so if I hit play and I start moving, you could see that we just scale upward, and it's a huge wreck and stuff like that. And so if you remember from the additive lean video and the offset video as well, how we've encountered those issues, and I finally figured out what it was. So what this is doing is it's applying the additive to the skeletal mesh of our character. So if you go into the third person, basically what it's doing is when you do the base, like this is our current base right now, is this form, right? And so let's go back into the mani and just quickly disconnect this, and then just feed it real quick into the local to component, right? So if I do that, compile and save, you could see that this is our base form, right? Where we're walking, we're doing stuff, our character is not scaling, we're not transforming anything in any way. We're just, you know, we're just messing with our location because we're like moving to different vector points, stuff like that, right? So what this does is it layers, you know, or an animation on top of our base, you know, according to what parameter we set, right? So to kind of recap what we did with the lean left right is that when we imported all the animations from the game animation sample project over, and we created our get lean amount function to where if we are accelerating, that we return the world space Y into our, oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to burp, into our local space X, so that way our character can tilt left or right with the, you know, that on that axis. So that's what we're doing. So when after doing that transform to get our lean amount X and adding it to our additive, then what should be happening is when not the aim offset, I'm trying to pull up the additive lean. So when we actually do this additive lean, the whole point, I love how I got the wrong one. Where is it at? Here we go. The whole point is we should be leaning as such, just like this, right? Well, I've discovered that when you import animations, that some default values might be reset. And I'm going to show you what those values are in case this ever happens to you. So if you do ever do an additive lean to your character and you want to apply this to your own game, like how the game animation sample project does it, this is what you need to be careful of. So what we're going to go do is we're going to go into characters and we're going to go into UEFN mannequin and then animations. But from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for lean, because what we specifically want to look for is this pose base. Then we want the pose left and the pose not into, but the pose right, because these are the poses that make up our additive lean for our additive mesh space additive. So what you need to do is you need to click on the base and then control left click on the pose left and then control left click on pose right. And what we want to do is we want to go to asset actions and then edit selection and property matrix. So in here, the only setting we want to look for is strictly this right here. So additive anim type. So this is correct. When I was doing it with other stuff, it was either on no additive or on mesh space, but you know, kind of weird, right? So what we actually need to do is we're going to keep it on mesh space because that's what we're trying to apply to by using the mesh space additive. But with this right here, the multiple values, what we want to make sure is that we're on selected animation frame. And right here, what we want to do, because you can see that it's trying to look for a skeletal mesh for skeleton UEFN mannequin. Well, we're not working on the mannequin, or actually, hang on, my apologies. I forgot that we had fixed it over here. Yeah, my bad. My apologies, guys. Go back into your Manny. And what we need to do is, let me double check that we have the lean. Yeah, here we go. So our GASP stuff. My apologies, guys. I didn't mean to lead you into the UEFN mannequin. So go into your animations Manny and look for lean, and you're going to look for these three poses. Because I did forget that when we retargeted the lean asset, that it gave us these three, so we don't have to sift through those other stuff. So you're going to do the same thing, is go to asset actions, and then you're going to go to edit selection and property matrix, and then you're going to select all of these and then come down, and just like this, just like what I said, see how it says no additive, like how I was mentioning earlier, we want to change this to mesh space. And then what we want to do is we want to select an animation frame. Now, I'm not too understanding of why we need to do this specifically. I still have to do some research on this. I'm just not finding like good info on it. So, but I've discovered this through like different forums. So After checking on the UEFN mannequin in the game animation sample project, what they have it set to is the GASP, or at least their neutral run. So let me do this. And they have it set to the single frame of the pose base because they're trying to start it from this base and then do your leans accordingly. So that is what we need to fix in here. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and save all of these. And then I'm going to mount this here for the moment. So now that we've fixed those, our GASP Blend Space 1D additive lean run should now be fixed. So we're going to then connect into our main states into base, and then our output into the local 2 component, and we're going to compile and save. So now when we run, you'll see how we actually do that lean. So that was what the issue was this entire time, was strictly this. So it is noticeable now that you do see us leaning. So now when we look at the Apply Mesh Space Additive, so let's connect the, the output from the first one into the second, and then into local 2 component, and compile and save. You could see that we scale up explosively, everything's broken, yada yada. Same thing. So if we go to our content and we go into our aim offset, so here's all of the animations that make up our aim offset stand. So we're just going to do the same thing, and we're going to then go here, asset actions, and then we are going to edit property matrix. However, this one's going to be a little bit different because they have others set up, and I believe that what they're doing is they loop it to the idle, but I got to make sure of that real quick for y'all, so just kind of bear with me just a second. So if I look into here and I look for our, I believe it is the idle. I did not want that. Let's see, it was right. I apologize, guys. When I discovered this earlier, I didn't have enough time to look for the aim offsets. So if I remember correctly, let me just go ahead and grab all of these, and I'm going to edit in the property matrix in the game animation sample project, because one of the things that you'll notice is that you could see how we have from here to the 45 is no additive, right? So if I move down from, we should also have the loop in here, I believe, or not. So it looks like the loop is not in here. So from basically our 90Y up to our X plus 45Y0 is going to be our mesh space, or at least, yeah, so from right here, the 90 to the Y. So, but as you'll see that, I did not mean to close that out for y'all. So let me reopen that. So when we look at it and we go to, let's just say the Y one, right? So they have no additive for that. So let me filter through it. So let's do that to here. And we can see that they're using the X0, Y0 stand, and they're doing the same thing. Mesh space, and then selected animation frame, and then the stand X0, Y0. So we're going to basically copy that same thing, where we're going to go from here to here, and then we are going to then go to the no additive and send it to mesh space. We're going to change the skeleton reference pose to the selected animation frame, and then off of here we're going to then look for where was it, this one right here, the neutral AO stand X0, Y0. So I'm going to do the neutral AO stand X0, Y0. So right here, this first one, our GASP M neutral AO stand. And now that we've gotten that, we can go ahead and hit save. Because again, in the other one, it didn't have the idle, so I'm not quite sure why we have that in here, but it looks like I just accidentally had it. So now that we got that and we've connected it, so now when we actually go ahead and hit play, you can see now that our character is looking around. However, one of the things is it looks like we are a bit off somewhere with our look. So I believe, let's see. because we have things marked appropriately. So we have our XO value, our Apply Mesh Space Additive, it's float, yep. Dead blending should be good, unless I am missing something from dead blending. No, we got cubic, it's 25, multiplier 1, everything else is checked, we're good. And then our stuff, our 1, 5, yep. So all those settings that we previously discussed are good. Blend poses by bull. It might have something to do with the blend profile because of how I've changed the weights. So that's probably what could be it, because of those sockets. So I'm pretty certain that that's it. So what I am going to do just for testing purposes is let me do an exponential out just to see. No, it is still looking to our right pretty hard. So see the additive pose, the stand should be good because we got our yaw, we got our pitch, play rate's fine, everything else is fine. If I go into, I'm pretty sure it's on the AOX value. So if we look for aim offset, let's go get AO value. That should be fine. We got get control rotation, enable AO. This is also fine. Bear with me, guys, I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back. So I could not figure out what the issue was and why, you know, when we hit play that the head turns to the right. I'm pretty sure it's a weighted variable somewhere that is causing us to look right like that. So I'm going to do some more research, and when I discover what it is, I will definitely put not a comment, but I will make a post in the description in regards to what to fix in order to fix that head bob. But other than that, that is pretty much what I wanted to go through in this video, was to just give an update on how to actually fix the mesh space additives. Because for the longest time, I thought it had something to do with the motion matching node. So that's why I had some concerns and questions in regards to it. But I've discovered that it's just because of how we retargeted the animations that it removed the mesh additive variable or the selection within the animations. So that's what you're going to have to do in order to apply those successfully. So definitely with those two videos, still follow along and do those. It's just that hopefully, you know, get to this video and do a you know, an update for that. So what I will definitely do is when I release this, I am going to call it like, you know, whatever 0.5 for update, just to let y'all know what it is, because I know this is pretty much going to be into the future when you see this. So but other than that, guys, like I said, I'm still working through the motion matching stuff because I'm still trying to get everything down in regards to let me bring it up for y'all. In regards to, you know, what is going on here, I have a bit more of an understanding of what orientation warping is and what the reset root transform does, just because while I've been doing the your first 60 minutes of motion matching with the third-person game suggestions, because like I said, I'm trying to mix both of those votes together because they seem to be going toe-to-toe. So it's like, why not, right? We're going to start from something simple and then make it a bit more complex, but simply doing, like, you know, we're going to make it simple. Like, you know, for example, we're going to have an is moving, and is starting, is pivoting, is stopping. We're going to make it super simple variables without needing to go into the complexities of, you know, all these essential values where they have everything else set up. It's like we will be setting up this. I will say that we are going to be utilizing a lot of property access nodes. And I will be making a discussion in that series about the pros and cons of using property access, because ever since I've discovered them through here, that I've started utilizing in a lot of places, and I will say they are amazing. But like I also said, is that you know, there are cons to using too much property access nodes. So we'll be going over that in the series and whatnot there. So other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this update video. Like I said, I'm still trying to get through the motion matching stuff, just been busy, so I haven't forgotten y'all. But other than that, y'all have a great rest of your day and take care.